DreAllDay.com.
Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Today's daily motivation is about freedom and security. And this is really about freedom or security and your understanding that you got to pick one. Understand that in life, freedom and security, and especially in the world that we live in today, they are kind of trade-offs of each other. In other words, the more free that you want to be, the more security that you have to give up to get that freedom. And the more secure you want to be, the more freedom you got to give up to get that security. So for example, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. I work with people who are in the sales space, people who run their own businesses, and people who want to get in the place of running their own business. And often when I'm talking to people who want to start their own business, but right now they're under some form of employment, one of the main things I hear so often is people saying, well, Dre, I don't like somebody else telling me what to do. I don't like someone telling me what time I got to come to work, what time I get to go and eat, what time I got to come back, when I could take a cigarette break. I don't like having to work with these people over here, and I don't really like them. They don't like me, but now I have to because my boss tells me to. I don't like being in a situation where someone else can dictate to me how a bulk of my life is going. And they all understand, whether consciously or unconsciously, that the reason they're in that situation, that they don't have the freedom to kind of dictate the way their life is moving about, is why? Because they accepted the security of that paycheck in exchange for the freedom. So you take that paycheck, you don't have the freedom to just do whatever you want to do. Now you got to do what the boss tells you to do, because the boss is the one who's writing that paycheck. And as long as you need that paycheck, you got to keep doing what the boss tells you to do. If you don't want to do what the boss tells you to do, flipping to the other side, entrepreneurs that I talk to, well, guess what you got to do? Now, to have that freedom to do whatever you want, now you got to give up the security, because now you don't have a quote unquote guaranteed paycheck coming every 2 weeks or every month. Now, the only thing that you get to eat is what you kill, as we say in the entrepreneurial world. You get to eat what you kill. You don't kill anything, you don't eat. Just like y'all watch National Geographic, all right? Those animals don't kill anything, they starve until they go and kill something. And at some point, it might get a little tight. And if they can't kill anything, then hey, it's a wrap. And then they get eaten by somebody else. They become somebody else's food. This is the deal, and this is the way that it works. So you have to decide which one matters more to you. Is it the security or is it the freedom? I remember watching this TV show called The Prophet with this guy named Marcus Lemonis, and he would go into a business that was failing, and he would save the business, and he would write them a check to cover their debts. Like they were insolvent, or they were in debt, or they were about to go out of business because they hadn't paid their vendor, or they hadn't paid their staff, and all that stuff. And he would save them by writing them a check to cover what they owed. And then at the same time, he would buy a piece of the business for that check. In exchange for the check, I'm gonna buy a piece of the business. And he would always say to them when he would hand them the check, and I'm sure this was dramatized for television, but he would always say to them, look, if you accept this check from me, I'm buying X percentage of the business, but regardless of the percentage that I own, if I give you this money, I'm in charge. Anything that happens here forward, I'm in charge. I make the final call. All right, you sure you want to take this money? And they would all take the money. Most of the time, almost every person would always take the money. And the reason I'm sharing that anecdote with you is to share this. As soon as those people accepted the security of getting Marcus Lemonis's money, guess what they had to give up? They gave up their autonomy to do whatever they wanted to do with their business. And I mean, sometimes with good reason, because doing whatever they wanted to do with the business got them to the point where they were about to go out of business anyway. They weren't running it too well. And taking the security of his money cost them in exchange a certain amount of their freedom, not just an ownership of the business, but a certain amount of their freedom, because now they had to defer to whatever he wanted to do, because now he was in charge of the way their business got ran. And oftentimes, if you watch the show, he would help the businesses out. They'd be in better shape after he was gone, or at least after he did his stuff, than they were before. And there were a few times it didn't work out, and he had to kind of just get out of there because the person was uncooperative, even though they had accepted the check in the beginning. The whole point here, folks, is for all of you, I want you to think about this today. Which one do you value more? Your freedom to do what you want, which costs you security, no safety net, or your security to make sure that you're taken care of, which costs you your freedom and your autonomy? You do have to pick one. And you look at your life right now, guarantee there's one that you are valuing more than the other, and it is reflected in your current situation. You want to change that, you know what you got to do. So with that said, leave a comment in this video. Let me know the best insight and the best action step you took from what you heard here today. Make sure you text me so you're in my text community. My number is 305-384-6894. Also, Work on Your Game University. That's where I do all my coaching, all my courses, all my trainings are all in the university. The links to the number and the university down below in the description. do all the YouTube stuff while you're here. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like this video, and share it with somebody out there who needs to hear this message. Work on your game. Dre, all